Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ife Artistry. If this is your first time seeing my videos, you are highly welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always sticking by. Okay guys, so in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how I transformed my gorgeous bride. Okay guys, so my bride booked me for her traditional marriage, and we of course went there and we glammed her face to perfection. You know, like she wanted a very clean and beautiful glam, nude natural glam, and that was what we gave her. Okay guys, so first of all we start with cleaning her face with a micellar water. As you guys know, cleaning is number one all the time. So we clean the face thoroughly to remove every hidden dirt from the skin and remove any hidden bacteria on the face, because you don't want to be building your makeup or your foundations on a very dirty canvas. So after cleaning the face, you have to dry the face. Make sure it's quite dried up before you go into the next step. And the next thing I'm going to be doing is to moisturize the face. So I'm going to be using my Eyebrow moisturizer to moisturize her face. So I'm going to like put the product. Most of the time I just like go generously a lot on that face. So I put the product enough, and then after putting it there, after applying the product or like spreading the product, I go ahead and blend them into the skin. So I'm going to actually take my time, like while blending I take my time and make sure like I blend very well. So after blending, you can look at that face and you see that is well hydrated, like is well hydrated. That is actually what I needed. I needed the face to be this hydrated for me to start doing the makeup. Okay guys, so when I was done with that, I have to go ahead with the Merak skin prep. So I added the Merak skin prep on her T-zones and just to control her sweat. Basically I think I equally used the milk hydro grip primer, just that I don't know how I lost the clip, but I know I did use that. So I used the milk hydro grip primer before I used the Merak skin prep. So after that I just like allow it to dry up, and right now I'm using the Becharm primer. You can see it, like I'm holding it on my left arm. So I'm just going to be placing the Becharm primer on her face, basically because she has a very oily skin. Like when I came in, before I even begin to clean her face, I noticed that she has really strong oily skin everywhere, especially her nose. Like they produce oil a lot, so I was very skeptical about using a primer, a mattifying primer on her. So after that I use a milk hydro grip spray on her face. Like I use it to lock in her makeup so that everything is going to stay while we move on to her makeup and foundation. Okay guys, so after drying the spray, I go ahead with my foundation placement. So of course for my bridal jobs, mostly I use my Nars foundation and Huda Beauty. Most of the time I use these two products mixed together, and that is what I use on my bride. So when I mixed it together, I place it on her face, of course trying to match that with her body. You can see her face is a bit darker than her body, just like a shade darker than her body, and that is not bad though. So I used my foundation to tone it up a little bit, and yeah, I got the perfect shade. And then I applied it on the face, and I used my beauty blender to blend that on the skin, like blend it into the skin properly. It's very, very, very important for you to blend very well. Honestly, blend your foundations. Don't just go and place foundations there and you are like, no, I have done it and all that. You've not really done it. You have to blend it. Don't equally think like once you have generously like place it everywhere on the face you are done. No, you have to blend it, let it go into the skin very well until it's well seated into the skin. You are not done. Sometimes when I'm blending foundation, people do ask me, people will be like, are you not done? Look, no, I'm not done. I have to like make sure everything is into the skin. Okay, so when I'm done with that, I started with placing my concealer. I'm using the Younger Beauty concealer in the shade 1. That's the lightest shade the Younger Beauty have, and I'm placing that on this is the shade 2, not shade 1, sorry. I place that in the inner corners of her face, and then I'm going in with the aucoin concealer, and this is in the shade SX11 or something, I think so. Yeah, so I just placed that, and this aucoin is equally light, so I'm going to just use Younger Beauty Zikel Cosmetics concealer in the shade Zikel Cafe. This is a bit darker, so I just place that in the other outer part. It's not like I want to add more concealers on the face anyway. I was okay, but you know, like the concealers that I used, that I added already, they are quite light, so I needed something dark in the outer part, so that's why I go for Zikel Cosmetics concealer. Okay guys, so just moving on, I just go ahead and start blending these products out. So I'm just going to blend them out, quietly blending, you know, like of course I have a Zikel concealer that is dark in the outer part, so it's going to help me navigate the brightness of this concealer into her skin. Like the transition is not going to be difficult for me to do. So after that, I just go ahead and contour her face. I'm using the Eyebrow Cosmetics foundation for the contour. Of course, most of the time I use that foundation, like I don't know, I just love how creamy it is, and I love the shade. I think the shade they call like helps me a lot. The undertone, not just the shade, the undertone it gives is very good for contour. Okay guys, so I'm equally going to be using that to like contour her face, like everywhere around her face, so on her cheeks. So when I place the product, I make sure I blend it into the skin properly. It's very, very important for you to place and blend in. Okay guys, so that is it. I'm just going to keep doing the same thing, nothing serious, nothing much, just like keep doing that. When I place the product, I make sure I blend it to the skin properly, and that is it. So after that, I equally go ahead and contour the nose. I notice my client has a very like, her nose is a bit bigger, so I'm going to try my best to, you know, like contour the nose and make it like, of course, looks slimmer, if I'm gonna say that. Okay guys, so something happened. I noticed I didn't come to the job with my light pink or red shades for the blush. So but I have my pink blush shade from Blot Cosmetics. You can see it's from Blot. So I of course pick this and I begin to like blend, and sometimes when I was blending it, I noticed that like it was going to be too much, so I just brushed it off at the back of my palm and I came back. So I just have to blend it very well. So when I keep pushing it in sorry, it gave me what I'm looking for. Like I just realized that it's not just me looking for Becharmageless Cosmetics lip stains. I feel like any good lip stain that you have can actually do this job. It's not a must that you have to get the Becharmageless I normally talk about. Get a good lip stain and we're going to, you know, like achieve what you want. So after that, I go ahead and just like blended the concealer under her eyes because I left some product there to dry up a little bit. So I go ahead and, you know, I started blending it. Okay guys, so there's sometime I mentioned about using beauty blender that is a little bit wet to, you know, like set. So my beauty blender was set. My assistant wet it in the morning, and they know like you don't touch my it's not beauty blender, I was talking about my powder puff. You don't wet my powder puff for any reason in the morning because I'm going to work with it. But so it was wet, and I don't know, I couldn't work with that, so I have to use my brush. Still, I couldn't equally work with my brush because I stopped using brush a long time ago. So I just resort to using my beauty blender to set. I mean, when I'm setting, you know, if you've been watching my videos, you know that I use powder puff to do that. But because the powder puff was a little bit wet, it's not like beauty blender. Your beauty blender can be wet, but powder puff cannot be wet at all. If it's wet, you cannot use the product. You cannot use that. You cannot use it at all. So make sure it's not wet at all, like at all. Okay guys, so I use my beauty blender. It's not bad. I think I've tried using beauty blender to preset the face, and I couldn't do it. But today, at that point, I didn't have any other choice. I didn't want to use my brush anymore because I feel like I can't even use brush and preset right now, and it's going to be good. Yeah, because I have actually not set with brush for a very long time in the past. So okay guys, so after everything, I just like set the rest of the face. And when I was doing this makeup, there was a lot of like light coming on and light going off, light coming on and light going off. in the hotel where we were. I don't know what happened, but it was in the village anyway, and there's a lot of back and forth with the hotel management and putting on their light and turning it off. So there was a lot of clips that I couldn't capture because of course I can't stop working at that point, especially when I'm setting the face. No, I have to continue working, so I couldn't get a lot of clips at that point. Okay guys, so moving on, I finished setting and I add blush to her face, and then I'm going over to her brows. I'm just outlining the brows. I'm using the again Esther brow gel to outline. That is it basically. So just creating the outline, and after outlining the brows, I'm just going to like just do it and outline. After outlining, I'm using my Davis pencil to fill it out or fill it in, even if it's out, I don't know. So I'm just using that to fill, and I'm creating light strokes, of course, as you guys know. I'm just going to like create strokes and make sure like it's filled up. And I don't like it when everything is like dark. I like a natural brows, and that was what I gave her. So after outlining and filling out the brows, I go ahead and like conceal her brows. So I'm going to be concealing the brows. My angled brush is from Merak Cosmetics, and my what is it called, and my concealer is from Zikel Cosmetics, of course. Zikel, I love their concealers, guys. I'm going to give you guys a review on my best concealers because I have quite a lot of concealers. Like I'm going to give you guys reviews on that. Just stay tuned. Yeah, for some of you guys that don't know the product to choose, just stay tuned for the review. Okay guys, so moving on, I was done concealing the down part of the brows. I go over to the upper part of the brows, and I equally think when I was concealing the brows, light came on and light came off. So I'm sorry, it happens. So after that, I go over to the eyeshadow. After concealing the brows, I set the brow bone with my powder, and then I started placing my eyeshadow primer, which is the Becharm white eyeshadow base. After placing that primer, I begin to create my transition. I said before in my videos that I create the transition first in all my videos. That is not actually how I work sometimes. Most of the time, I do anyhow when I'm doing eyeshadow, because like I think eyeshadow is one of my best thing in makeup. So I do it anyhow, but I know the reason why I follow a particular process when I'm creating my videos is for you guys to understand, so that it's not going to be when I do this today and do that the next day, you get confused. So my clients requested for a particular eyeshadow look. She wanted a nude. In fact, she showed me a picture of what she wants, and I used to be very skeptical when people show me pictures, right? Like I have to get it correct. So she showed me a picture. Of course, I have my pigments, I have a lot of things and she has this a nice eye piece. I was going to create magical eyeshadow, but like my client wants what she wants and I have to give it to her. So I created the nude eyeshadow, and this is just me trying to smudge out the under eyes, just to probably get something more dramatic, since the eyes is very simple and something like that. So I just go ahead and I'm lining the eyes. I'm just trying to just give her something subtle and something beautiful and nice. I didn't want it to be any dramatic or anything. I just wanted something simple. So I'm just lining the eyes, just line and let it be nice, basically, so just swinging out a little bit. Okay guys, so after that I equally lined the under eyes, and then I lined the first one, and then I'm going over to the second eyes to just line the under eyes. Okay guys, so afterwards I fixed the lashes, and now at this point we are ready, and I started dusting out the products on her face, the powders everywhere that I use in baking her face. So I'm dusting out everything, guys, dusting out the powders everywhere from her face, basically. Okay, so after that, after dusting out, I begin to set, you know, like I'm just using powder to just run through on her face, not just basically setting. I'm just running through because I have basically done with everything. I'm just running through. Okay guys, so there's something my client used to have, not used to, she has a very oily skin. Asked me why I'm adding cheek glaze on her face right now, because I'm not supposed to add cheek glaze when somebody has oily skin. You have to avoid cheek glaze is oily, so adding that on the face is going to actually add, like, pronounce the oil, like make them come out. But it is what it is. I'm that stubborn person as a makeup artist. Okay guys, so afterwards I use my setting spray. That's the spray from, what is it, the brand Milk Hydro Grip Spray. So I sprayed that on her face, and you can see how that spray actually eliminated every possible glow from her face, sorry, every possible powder from her face. Okay guys, so after that I probably added my hair glow, guys. So my client told me, like, you see how her lips is, she wanted these lips, like she just want her lips pronounced like the same shade that this lips is. She didn't want it to be more or less, she just wanted her lips this way back, just in a more pronounced way. So I'm trying my best to create these lips back in a more pronounced way. And now, so I added a light shade. First of all, I did outline the lips. I did the light nude, and now I'm equally trying to use an orange shade to subdue that. Just trying to, you know, like make it a little bit colorful and, you know, nice. Yeah, and at this point I was done with the lips. I was not going to do more, and she actually told me so I should not gloss the lips. Of course, I have to be that stubborn makeup artist, and I told her, what, let me gloss it, it's going to be nice. In fact, I'm not going to do too much of glossing, and she agreed. I glossed the lips, and this is it, guys. This is actually the end of the video. This is it, and I hope you love this video as much as I do. Please do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, put on your post notification, and I'm going to see you guys next time. Love you, bye.